Hello and good day. This is Philip Branton, the revoked civil servant, with another update. Hopefully your Thanksgiving holidays was well fed. I had some questions posed to me about my last update concerning the book Flashboys and I guess where all this fits in. Well, I mean, it's a matter of record. I had used my own funds at a time a lot earlier than this book ever came out, basically to test that hypothesis because of the type of speed on our networks. I knew then via my E-Trade account that things weren't as what they seemed. You know? So during that time, I just kept following along as to what was occurring in the financial market. Of course, once this book came out, basically going into a lot of detail, but in a very simple manner, ball started to roll. Just wanted to read an excerpt. I don't know if you've had time to read this book or not, or even are aware of this book. But anyone in data analysis, signals intelligence, anybody that follows the financial markets, Edward Jones, E.F. Hutton, whoever they are, man, it's an eye-opener. I mean, this is like the third copy I've gotten. Each one, Michael Lewis has updated in some way, and this book is the afterwards. And basically, he has a synopsis of what's transpired after Brad Katsuyama went on CNBC and the whole blowback from his perspective on what's transpired. Little does he know, really. I mean, little does he know. So, it's got a number of chapters in this book, but I'll just start off with the introduction. Because, I mean, he is a gifted writer. He really is. It says, I suppose this book started when I first heard the story of Sergei Elyanikov, the Russian computer programmer who had worked for Goldman Sachs. And then in the summer of 2009. Now that date is key, and it's only the third sentence in the book. Okay? Because the summer of 2009 precedes my December 16th, 2009 of standing up to my admiral, Rear Admiral Bachman, and asking, hey, what's our mission? Our mission is to win. Oh. So, it was about the Russian computer programmer, and that after he had quit his job, he was arrested by the FBI and charged by the United States government with stealing Goldman Sachs code, the computer code. I thought it strange, that's what Michael Lewis said, after the financial crisis in which Goldman had played such an important role. Now he's talking about a financial crisis of 2008, the housing bubble. So then you got to go back to The Big Short, basically. in which Goldman had played such an important role that the only Goldman Sachs employee who had been charged with any sort of crime was the employee who had taken something from Goldman Sachs. I thought it even stranger that the government prosecutors had argued that the Russian shouldn't be freed on bail because Goldman Sachs computer code in the wrong hands could be used to manipulate markets in unfair ways. Goldman's were the right hands? If Goldman Sachs was able to manipulate markets, could other banks do it too? Not just banks on the New York Stock Exchange, but now think worldwide. Hong Kong, Dubai, London, 24 hours a day. But maybe the strangest aspect of the case was how difficult it appeared to be for the few who attempted to explain what the Russian had done. I don't mean only that what he had done wrong. I mean what he had done. His job, he was actually described as a high-frequency trading programmer. But that wasn't an explanation. That was the term of art that, in the summer of 2009, most people, even on Wall Street, had never before heard. This book should be required reading for anybody in a corporate environment. Every employee ought to be issued one of these books. They really should. I know you're asking, well, why, Chris? Why? Well, it's just like it in any corporate environment because of cyber security, informational security. If they will come out and tell employees, well, you can't have your phones in certain locations. If they come out and say, all right, you can't have fitness trackers because it tracks you. Okay, you can't play games like Pokemon Go on your phone because it's tracking you. Now, if they're smart enough to come out and tell employees this, you mean they're not smart enough and have the guts enough to say, all right, employees, everybody now use your smartphones to send a text message, an email to our pension board to move all of our pension trades from the BATS exchange to the IEX exchange. Do they ever do that? Well, see, that's what I know. And that is the strategic value behind books. Not just this one. Okay? I mean, you can take movies. Take the movie Patton. Okay? Most people, well, that's a great movie. Okay? But they don't understand the strategic value behind it. Okay? This version of the movie has a preface where, Francis Ford Coppola comes on and he explains, before the movie ever comes on, why he was tasked to make the movie. And then why it took so long for the movie to come out. It was timed. It says winner of seven Academy Awards, Best Picture in 1970. But in the preface, Francis Ford Coppola, he explains. It's very eye-opening. You're like, that's why. Okay. Well, and then that's how you are able to use certain historical data. Okay. Same with this book. And that's why I referenced it in the previous update because of what's transpired. What information, okay, is turnover from one captain to the other, from captain to admiral, because it has domino effects. Now, this is just one issue, just one. I mean, you're in a certain position, and you got 50 a day. Okay? Seriously. I work with 4,000 people. I'm just one of 4,000. We got 15,000 contractors. That's just on the Atlantic side. Then you got the Pacific, and you got headquarters. Then from another macroeconomic perspective, you got the whole Department of Defense, Navy, Air Force, Army. Thrift savings. How is that pension? How are those trades? What markets are they using? Now, I have another example. Think about going into a supermarket and all the information you have about where your produce comes from. Think about coffee alone, where they're trying to track the farmers actually producing the beans. So the people that are buying, the consumers that are buying it, have some sort of peace of mind knowing, hey, this is a fair trade deal here. Is anything like that happening on the financial markets? And I'm talking worldwide. And so between 2009, actually probably in my case 2004, they can go back and look at my E-Trade accounts. They can go back and track all that traffic. So that was the reference I was making to in my previous update, because there is a reason Michael Lewis wrote this book, and there is a huge reason that the IEX exchange came into being. Now, Goldman Sachs is first mentioned, right? I mean, there's others in this book, and they were one of the first to actually use IEX exchange. And that's a huge signals intelligence marker right there in and of itself. So, just like my joke in my previous update about, the shave challenge I made to my executive director. Okay. The data sets. How something about a book, okay, and certain data is used. It is how those algorithms and analysts can be manipulated, thereby resulting in leadership really not knowing what's going on and making wrong decisions. Mm-hmm. So, that's my post update for the Thanksgiving season, rolling into Christmas. And I do have on the little Donald Trump tie there, like I said previously. But if you have a chance, I suggest, and I'm not getting paid to tell you this, try this book. And if you work for a corporation, it doesn't matter, Boeing, any corporation, and when you realize your CEO and your board of directors and your chief financial officer and your corporate legal has not sent out a memo, that is how you use this video and my GoFundMe campaign. So right now, let's say 270 something views that I've had in this campaign. Will it be 10 times this in 2 weeks? 1,000 times this in 2 weeks? Going into the holiday season? Probably not. And that's trackable. I remember I emailed a lady who gave a TED Talk about whistleblowing. I've yet to hear from her. I think she is a professor at Purdue University. It would be interesting for any of her students that she has and get feedback in her class if they were to ever follow this campaign. Anyway, until the next update, I hope your week is great. Time to have a little fun. It's rolling into the Christmas season here, and let's enjoy it. By the way, if you feel so inclined, want to make a donation, that'd be great. Until the next update, you have fun, have a great time. God bless you. God bless America. See you soon.